being here. Most of us know each other, a couple of us don't, and a lot of us we got a lot of history together, life experiences, and it's a small select group intentionally. You know, this isn't our first rodeo, and what we're trying to accomplish is very important at this stage. Because we've been here many times, and to get where we want to go, it's gonna, we're only two of the people we have, and when we run and gun, especially in this industry, and bring masses of people in there, we don't get the result we want because, when we don't vet people and really know who people are, it puts us in very difficult situations because when people don't align with our values, we get disunity. And so it takes us longer and we don't get to where we want to go, how we want to get there. And so we know we can get to where we want to go, and we want to bring the right people with us. And we don't really care if it's just Julius and I. And we'll explain some of the proof of that behind how we managed one of the biggest storms ever. Came out here and sold 100 million, but we didn't want to do it that way. And so we made some hard decisions and really stayed true to who we were. That takes a lot of restraint, especially with all the experience we have. And so, this is like Shamrock 2.0 right here. And we really want to, when you guys really get to understand and see where we want to go, we're going to need some key people to get there. And, a lot of you guys really align with who we are and what we want to do. And so it's really exciting. So we'll talk a little bit about our vision, kind of where we're headed, where we kind of came from right after that, and then who you guys will be working with, and and when you guys really get to know and experience these values, some of these things might not align with like who you guys are. It just doesn't mean that this won't be the environment that you want to excel and pursue your financial your dreams. I think this is for you guys, I hope you guys understand this is a life changing opportunity because it'll be everybody's here financially, but everybody also wants to be a part of something important, something more valuable than just money. But money is the driving factor for most people. You guys are here to make money, and we want to provide that opportunity. We've provided. Consistently, I've had people consistently make my reps make $300,000 a year, and the underlying guys make $500,000 a year. And we'll go through, those specific people and how they created those opportunities and how we're able to invest into them. And there's no different, if I had 25 sales guys, 3 sales guys, or 20 sales guys, I'd invest the same time and opportunity into them. But the people who really wanted those, opportunity, use those platforms to transform their lives and are financially secure, from here and forever. They continue to, go along this pattern. So I'll share a little about where we're going, where we came from, who we are, and kind of empower you guys as soon as you guys want to go, with us along this music journey. Um, First, the vision of what we're trying to accomplish, cover the nation with a legacy of unparalleled craftsmanship and genuine servanthood. Free, relentlessly striving to make a lasting positive difference in every community we touch. Now, vision is important just because it's the roadmap of the destination we're trying to get. This vision will not be successful if we're working in Ohio, Indiana, and Florida. We want to cover the nation. I mean, we're going to touch every state, all the metropolitan cities and cover every, group we possibly can, and that's very doable. It's been done. And we want to, duplicate that, that some of these other large companies have done that. For us, that vision and that dream for us, like I said, it's only attainable with everybody that's here or and other people that want to draw on the word with us. And, we attempted this in a different organization. And we brought in, we called it the four horsemen. And, and from those four guys, we were able to produce such a large volume of opportunity and financial wealth that is life transforming. And so, just with four guys, 15 million, 20 million, yeah, 18 million, 18 months. And with four guys, but then with those four guys, we built 100 of them. So, it's something very similar, but different as well. So, you know, being a national company, it could take 3 years. It really could be that quick. If we have great unity, we do a good job, and we execute things we're supposed to, or it could take, you know, 20 years. One of my favorite stories of reaching and accomplishing a vision is from the creators of Ulta, the beauty store. Um, they had 12 members on their team, and they wanted to create the largest makeup distribution company in the world. And so they were set out to build $1 billion company. And those 12 people, they set out to, they had a 5 year goal to go public and then to sell it to a big equity firm. Well, it took 17 years and only three people made it that far. But the three people that made it that far sold for $17 billion. And one of the gentlemen lives here and became colloquially the guy. So pretty cool story. But, the destination of getting there, our goal would be, we want to reach the nation, and in 5 years, have 25 locations, but sometimes it's diverted and sometimes you can accelerate that. There's another story that I love that I read in this book is a guy developed one of the quickest companies that reached $1 billion in history and how they were asking him how he executed that. And he said, everybody was united in the vision. And he used a rowboat as an explanation. He said, I kept everybody rolling in the same direction. He's like, if someone stood up, we were moving quickly. If someone, anything that disturbed the momentum of getting to where they wanted to go, someone wasn't rowing, someone was rowing the opposite direction, someone didn't fit within the culture, the vision, or the mission, they were moving very quickly. So our gate's going to be super narrow for us to accelerate the opportunities that we have in growing this business from experience and from opportunity to get there. So our mission, which is extremely important. So the vision is where we're going. The mission is how are we going to get there. And so um, to fulfill our mission, covering the nation, we are dedicated to recruiting individuals who align with our core values. We will rigorously train our team, consistently advance in technology, and then maintain an unwavering commitment to refining our processes and systems. This relentless pursuit of excellence ensures our ability to provide top-notch roofing system and services throughout the nation. So, for us, like I said, if you don't align with our core values, it's not going to be a smooth road getting to where we want to go. Us using technology is very important. We have some insane connections and networks that Julius and I are associated with in other businesses that really can give us opportunity to scale the business from a software standpoint, to offer Amazon roofing building systems. You push a button where they're building their roofing days, and those things we're investing into and developing and talking about, strategizing about. So those technologies that will allow us to advance and be front runners and that type of technology would really help us. The gentleman that we have, that we are connected to, he built a ton of software for Microsoft. Ran one of the largest businesses in Ohio, in the area that we grew up in, Dublin, Ohio, and it's super successful and has more connections than you could ever imagine. So those technology and advantages really will help us scale. So you got people, you have technology, and then staying aligned with all the moving systems and the technologies from an application standpoint, give us those advantages. And if we stay on that vision and stay focused, our number one thing is, this right here is really training and embedding, who we are and what we do and how we do it. And, giving an example is, a Navy SEAL team, has an execution rate of 95%. So they're one of the most successful organizations in the whole wide world at accomplishing what they're set to do. But everybody knows how difficult the training is and how consistently train and execute things. But because of that consistent training, that commitment and development, they go in there and they accomplish everything they set out to do, which is absolutely mind blowing. And that's going to be something that's very important to us. And And if that's something you guys value, the continuing education, like, oh, this is, we've heard this before, it's monotonous and, but no, if you don't, if you value and understand that aspect of training and development, that that's what propels you into success. I paid thousands of dollars for a guy. Tommy Rollins was a multiple national champion wrestler at Ohio State to come and teach some of our kids some moves. And all the kids were frustrated and said, all he was teaching is stance, and they wanted all these high, elaborate, exciting 5-point moves, and he taught stance for 5 days. And parents were pissed, and the kids were pissed, and it was funny. And it's like, what I did for 1 month at the Olympic Training Center, preparing for the Olympics. I worked on stance. He's like, because all those fancy moves comes from positioning, and then with that positioning allows you to add all of those fancy moves. So for us, if you guys can't sit up here and duplicate and and go plant the location, then this training is going to be really important. You know, if you guys can't build a sales team of that's doing 25 million, then you guys want to hear this stuff. That you guys want to be committed. Not everything's going to impact you, but you're going to lean the necessary things to continue to get better and better and better and better. And so, if you guys really grow in that value and really commit to those things, then you guys are going to experience a ton of success. Because us as leaders, we're going to be really faithful to those things and continuing to sharpen you guys, sharpen, 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 sharpen. And then, hopefully our mission, has a, 80% success rate compared to a lot of these other large roofing companies that, the success rate for large roofing companies that do over 50 million, it's got to be probably like 20%. Maybe less than that. They have this crazy rapid growth and then their trajectory like this. So, something important. Anything you want to add, Mission? Because, and it's great. We have corporate, we have location, we have all these different things. So for this location, what you guys can really be experiencing is Julius really driving this mission. So all these things of daily execution, Julius is the CEO of this location, though he's a developer in the corporation, but this specifically, all of us get, this platform as a training platform to expound and get to wherever where we want to go. Yeah. You want to add anything?
I mean, the only thing I'd add to that is like, for everyone in here who knows us, nowhere in our mission to say, get rich, make money, and, try to live that lifestyle. It's not within my personal core to have that interest. I've made plenty of money in my life, but it's not something that is a motivator for us. I think in any business or anything that you do, money has to be a motivator because it makes the world go around whether you want to do that or not. But for us, our vision is, to build something that we can all be proud of, build something for generations to come so that way we all can look back and say, I did that. My name's associated with that. When my kids think about me, when my great grandkids think about me or you and you're dead and gone, you want to have legacy. And so to create something like this is not to just build a roofing company, for those of us who know that, or for those of you who know us, there's other businesses that we're currently working on that, a lot of people, even in here are gonna, probably partake in and reap the benefits and blessings from those opportunities as well. So nowhere in our vision or our mission is in get rich quick, or anything like that. It's a matter of building something we can all be proud of. So that's just,
Along with our vision, we were currently in 3 locations: Ohio, Indiana, and Southwest Florida. So we're fulfilling our vision very quickly. We're only about a year and 2 months into this business venture, and the cool thing is, we live out. It's just not a vision. It's just not a statement, but everybody who knows us, we've had so much fun opportunity to impact our communities. So in each one of those communities here in Ohio, there's huge community impact already just in 1 year. We support so many underprivileged, so many different organizations that we give, and physically our time, our resources, our knowledge, to help other people, which is great.
Just by a show of hands, who has started their own business? Okay, so about half the room. You know, how for any businesses that you guys have worked for or started, you know, in 1 year's time, have you seen or done this? Right. The time and energy that it takes to rapidly build something is not an easy task. And for us, the task was only easier because of experience and repetition of doing this over and over again. And this time we said, let's do it slow. What you see in a year here for us is actually crawling.
Yes.
This is really slow because we said, let's build it solid, right? Build it fast and it won't last. So this time we said, let's build it slow, right? And you know how difficult that is when you're dealing with $1 billion storm, multi-billion-dollar storm, to have this right here in our backyard and just it took everything in us to not hire anybody else to say, go sell it out, you know, because like a lot of companies, they went out and they sold tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of roofs. But guess where they're at today, a year later? They're out of business. CMR is out of business and they're doing $100 million plus a year, right? RCA, they're struggling. They're a big, huge business because they went and hired too fast. They're building too fast, and it just won't last. So for us, you'll get to see kind of where we're going. But for us, it's like we were building it slow. You guys have a fantastic support team that you guys get to meet here, and because of this slow platform and where we are in Shamrock 2.0 and phase 2 of this storm that we're working off of, it's really going to help us to drive into the communities around here to say, hey, we're stable, we're not going anywhere, and you're going to get to see really quickly that all these other guys who came in fast and got out of here, yeah, they made some money, but we're going to make, everlasting money that's going to create huge impact based on the systems and processes that we know. So,
And just to identify, the craftsmanship and genuine service. We got people walking our doors giving us, huge projects because they've heard about our craftsmanship. They've heard how we serve our customers and how we serve our staff and our teams and our installers and, the installers that we got, we throw celebration parties, give up gifts. I mean, we really invest in everybody who adds value. You guys are going to see too, like our long-term plan of people saying, "Hey, I want to partake in this journey of building $100 million roofing company," and but working just for a salary and help create something that isn't very enticing. There's so much opportunity that we want to include you guys in. You guys are going to see that as our growth track exposes our hearts and what we're trying to accomplish.
So, real quick on the values, we'll jump on to the next one here. Just give a little direction before we go through them. Take a look at the screen, and you're gonna find some of these on your worksheet on either the front or back. Try to find them, circle them, and just we'll see. We're wanting to see how we align. So, for those who know us from Craftsman, the motto that was created by Bob was "Care of a craftsman, heart of a servant." Right? It's a biblical thing where we're wanting to serve each and every one of our customers with the best craftsmanship that we have to offer because we have the heart to serve. We're not there to take advantage of people. We're not there to lie, manipulate, or steal. We're there to serve them as a servant to them, which means if you give it your all and you have the care of craftsmen and everything that you do. So for us, values are heart of the servant, grit, having that mentality of never wanting to quit and being able to persevere and push through. Obviously, you guys can see we like to have fun. That's very important to us. Work hard, play hard. For those of you who've been in this business for a long time, you really know that because it's such a fast go business, you can burn out really quickly. especially in big storms like this where they last a long time. You know, there's been times in other storms where I've had to just disappear, you know, just to get my mind right. So we want to make sure we incorporate fun in everything. Loyalty is important to us. We're extremely loyal guys, probably to a fault. But loyalty, you know, I think it's bigger and more important than almost anything else in life. You know, uh, intentional growth. You know, we don't want to just be in one place, spinning our wheels, doing the same thing every day. We always want to be thinking, how can we be doing something better? How can we be doing something bigger? So having intentionality and growth is extremely important to us. Life giving. Yeah.
So with life giving, that one's like a real sensitive one for me because I've worked at multiple organizations, and that aspect we've worked in some toxic environments where it's like life sucking. You know, it's like trauma, gossip, vengeance, like crabs in a bucket. Oh, he's in my territory. You know, yeah, I help other businesses. Like, I don't care if another business takes my business if I go sell something else somewhere else. And, you know, yeah, I literally know there's an abundance out here. When you have that crab like mentality and pulling those other crabs down in the bucket when they're trying to get up, and I'm going to boost them up and hopefully give them a hand. If they don't, I'll climb up myself. You know, and that's the mentality that you don't share in those things. And like, if you know yourself naturally, like to create a little drama and strife, and those type of things, you know, we have a lot of grace, and you know, we'll help you to try to overcome those things. Because they'll surface quickly in our environment. It's the environment that we created at first in the beginning of the storm. It was, you know, entitlement, you know, all this unreasonable expectation, strife, and drama, and all this crap. I was like, man, I was like, deal with it. It's not even worth my time. It's no fun, you know. So we literally let every 90% of our sales team go because we were unwilling to, you know, give in those areas. And so, and then doing that, you know, we have so much fun. We laugh. It's like we edify each other, we build each other up. We all have shortcomings, but like we help each other get better, and everybody can confess to that, and I'm sure they will during this process of what we did and how we worked together and producing a lot. And there was constant challenges and problems that everybody's worked this storm or been in the roofing industry. It's not easy. You're gonna deal with a lot of problems and have to be flexible and these different things. So life giving is saying, hey, you know, when I'm in environments, do I suck life or do I give life? Yeah, ask you guys, you know, and so those things we're not going to be real tolerant on. And and coming into this room, you have to say, hey, you know, the world, there's a lot of people that aren't gifted in serving food. You know, you ever go to like a hotel and like your reservation and the clerk is just jerk on or like, you know, like zero hospitality. And, you know, like, this is probably not the best job for you. And same for us, is like people just think, hey, construction, consult, you know, contractor, but that's not true. It's called a servant company. Yeah. Well, we're a service, we're serving people and we're serving each other. And if you don't have that type of mentality, then don't, I wouldn't pick this industry, you know. So I just want to give those highlights.
I want to touch on leadership. So, you know, leadership obviously being core value is extremely important. But like when I look around the room, you know, this how I would describe this. I would describe this room as a room full of quarterbacks, right? Because everybody that I see here, every one of you are leaders, right? So you think, how are we going to do this, right? And that's where servanthood comes into place. I mean, I am here to serve you guys. I'm here to serve God, right? I have, you have to humble yourself at times when it's necessary in order to serve other leaders. But I know right now from what I see and hear that everybody in here is a leader. And obviously, if you have a room full of quarterbacks, that can only mean one thing: is that there's going to be multiple teams that everybody's going to be. So that's what I want everyone to really understand is, you know, you guys aren't just a sales team here to push numbers. We're here to develop and understand the system of what we're doing so that each one of you can lead a team, right? Or lead a division, depending on what the you know, what you're here to do. So leadership obviously is extremely important. In leadership, there's something that people tend to, I don't know, they 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 forget that you have to give grace. There's no such thing as a perfect leader. And because of that, there's got to be times where, everybody gives each other grace and understanding that, hey, you know what? I still trust your leadership and I trust where you're trying to go. We're just not going to get there today. So, meaningful work, this is extremely important to me. And Bob, and hopefully everybody here in the room, having meaningful work doesn't matter what you do. When I sweep the floors in here, I take pride in doing that. Everything that I personally do, I take pride in trying to do. So everything working. Um, I don't know if that's something you learn or if that's something that's rooted in to you. Um, but it's important. So customer service, obviously that's extremely important. Our customers are the lifeblood of our organization. Without them, we wouldn't have business. Quality relationships. I'm a relational sales guy, and so when it comes to sales, my sales are based on the relational connections to these people, not temporary, satisfaction. Where I'm just telling them what they want to hear. They're going to take me for who I am, the good and the bad, and build a quality relationship. The same thing that we want to have with everybody in here, first and foremost. So meaningful relationships to us is extremely important. I mean, we've had people in the door here who, we've had very close, meaningful relationships with for many, many, many years, and you don't see them sit here today. So you can have a meaningful relationship with somebody, but it doesn't mean that you're going to always be doing business with them. Um, but we're pretty straight up with how we feel about people and what we share with them. So having integrity is important. That's why those people that we're talking about are not here. Because they lack in certain areas of integrity that are affecting us, affecting our business, and they won't be here anymore. Truth and honesty, same thing. There's nobody that's perfect. It's okay to have faults. If we make mistakes, that's okay. So having truth and honesty are a lot more important to us, just like in marriage or any type of relationship. Where that should really come first, because without that core, everything else is fractured. It's like fractured cracked glass. It can still stand there, but it's hard to see through, and it's hard, and that eventually it's going to fall apart unless you face it. So, helping society, obviously, for those of you who've been here, you guys know that we spend a lot of time and a lot of money to try to help our society. We believe in building into God's kingdom, and in doing that, we have to serve those around us and do what we can to help society. Flexibility, again, we won't be flexible with everybody in here, unless you guys are flexible with us. What he was talking about, with protecting culture. He said we'll have grace, but for me, I'll nip it in the butt right away. There's a Mary that we had before once in our lives, and that toxicity is so nasty, you end up going to do it. So we'll have flexibility and everything, but commitment to the process. So, all the training that I've had before, that's helped me to be successful in this business and in other areas of my life has been commitment to a process. I don't have to know everything, but if I can understand certain things and know them extremely well to the point where they're repeatable, then they're perfected. So understanding the process of how we do things and how things flow through our system, that has to be repeatable so we can do it in every location and do it every single minute of every single day. Because that's the only way you can have accountability, trackability, and just management in general. If everybody is doing something differently, there's no way to, have consistency for accountability. Excellence, you should be excellent in everything that you do in personal development. Um, that's extremely important to us. For those of you who know us again, there's been a lot of people that have come through our lives that we have touched that are multi-millionaires now, right? They've created successful businesses through our systems, through our platforms. But we believe, and we've seen it happen time and time again, where they hit a ceiling of success because of success. So, doing that.
I think if I don't want to beat this dead horse, but in a culture environment, culture is where everybody's values kind of align and it kind of stimulates expression, right? And then you have unity, and with unity, there's nothing impossible for anybody to accomplish. And we see that in sports and history and war and all these things. So that's something that will kind of govern and protect. Just think about like NFL sports analogy. You see all these unruly receivers or running back that nobody wants that gets kicked off the team, and everybody wants them because they're talent. But as soon as they integrate that person into a different team, 90% of the time, what happens? They disrupt the team. They're dysfunctionally, they spoil the rest of the bunch, and they don't get what they want from that person, just because that those core values are such a huge principle. And kind of tell you where we came from. Like we started this organization, and we brought in a lot of people. We hired a ton of people. We had a huge group of sales guys, and a lot of these guys, like I said, created environments that were so unhealthy and not fun. And so, Julius and I said, let's put our foot down. Let's live out our vision and be committed to who we really want to be and take this company where we really want to go. So we let all of them go in this environment. Like I said, we felt like we were calling, even though we were busy. And we just got out there and strapped our own boots up and solo creating relationships and kept the people around here that we wanted. And so then we were intentional and said, hey, let's do this. We sold a crap ton of business in the first, few months. Let's just build it. And then let's recreate. Let's build a second foundation. So give you guys an example. We had a ton of confidence coming into here because when we developed another company called Craftsman Roofing and Restoration, we started that business a year into Irma. So, and then we were able to create that platform and create a ton of success, and a lot of problems as well. So, starting this organization as 2.0, where we sit today, I want to give you guys a ton of confidence because we created a lot of success in a smaller store in Irma, and transformed many lives during that period of time. And so we're going to do that again and even better a year after the storm. So we're almost like a year and a couple of months after the hurricane started, and people were like, oh, so much work was picked out. There's not that much left. And we went into Craftsman, and my objective was to pick up the scraps. That was it. But we quickly found, like, holy cow, there's a lot of scraps. There's much more scraps. So, right now I would say, there's probably, 50 to 60% of the storm that still hasn't been touched. And we have the strategies, the marketing, campaigns, and the ideas of how to gather that business and to help you guys really accelerate really quickly, because we've built a heck of a brand and we got a really strong quality name. I think it's going to even be better because what I've always grown in is I started a commercial or a residential paving company, seal coating and knocking doors 28 years ago, going door to door with buckets of sealer, and a little neighborhood called Tarpon Fields, and telling people to get the F off my lawn and go somewhere else, and so build that company up, year after year after year. And so when boots on the ground here, we can duplicate those things and advance the success of this organization, from our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have two guys that actually were a part of Craftsman, and Jimmy was about a year. How many years were you at Craftsman? 3 years. Not a year. Francisco, how many years were you at Craftsman?
3 years.
3 years. Ryan, what's up, dude? Same time, yeah. So lots of experience, and what's cool about life is, what you do with those experiences, how you transform and learn and adapt and change instead of doing the same dumb things. We're going to take the things that worked, that we know worked, and then we're going to change the things that didn't work. And they really understand what culture and poison and decisiveness. There's a lot of good and bad things happening in that organization that you guys are going to benefit from. So
they also got to see some beautiful things. So we took a guy who had come down from Mississippi. I mean, the guy had, it's done to his knee, rubbed together, and
financially
supported him to get him to a place where, probably not a lot of people would believe that he could have gotten to. but it was easy to see that he had certain skill sets that propelled him to becoming a million. There's a guy who, was there, Andy, right? Came in, just had a baby. I mean, didn't have a car, didn't have nothing, and just see where the kid's at today. I mean, he really took a lot of what he had learned from us and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to try to do this in this industry."
Yep.
And this industry is vast. There's so many different parts of this industry that you can make a ton of money in. We're at the root of it, which is just putting the shingles on, right? Putting the roofs on. Outside of that, there's marketing, there's technology, there's insurance, there's all legal, there's all kinds of stuff. There's a million ways to make a buck in this business. So for us, we want to just be the best at what you're doing, which is providing actual service. So when I explain to people, I'll get into that. So I'll read this. It's just a little statement from us. We believe in a multidimensional approach to offering the best customer service and maintaining our position as innovators in the roofing industry. We take great satisfaction from a job well done. Work for us, it is about educating our customers so that they can make the best and most informed decision while enjoying the process. The process of buying a restoration project is more than signing an order form or signing a contract. Buying from us enhances the lives of every customer we serve. By educating our clients about their project and providing personal and helpful service, we make it easier than ever to tackle your home restoration project. So whether it's improving a client's home appearance or showing them how easy it is to facilitate an insurance claim, our employees are in the business of enhancing lives on a daily basis. So hopefully that makes sense, and you'll get to see as you guys are developing that we're trying to create an experience for these homeowners. We're not just there to say, "Hey, here's the price for you guys," and you're good. We want to create an experience. If you look at markets like Miami, right? The experience of purchasing a roof over there is like a drug deal in an alley. I mean, it's bad, you know. But they have these multi-million-dollar homes and multi-million-dollar residential areas, and nobody is getting into that market and saying, "How can we serve you?" Right? How can we serve you and roll out the red carpet to where if you see like the thing we did in Ohio, to where we do the hover, we do a 3D model of the whole house, and you can do anything. You can change the siding colors, you can change the roofing colors, you can change pretty much whatever you want. You're creating an experience, a buying experience where the wife is sitting there like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so amazing. Oh my gosh, what if our house looks like that?" And then boom, a few months later, especially if you're doing a full restoration project, siding and all, you're looking at this house and showing them, "Hey, you remember that when this was just a vision, right? It was just a mock-up of what we had." No, the roofers are going to provide that experience. Say, "Hey, this is the level that we're providing," and it's funny because there should be a price associated with that, but we do that service for the same as anybody else. So they create it. It not only makes us competitive, but it gives us an edge. So
Yeah, I'll give you guys just a little bit of background. Where we came from, so you guys know. Hey, all right, we have this vision. Are the leaders capable of getting to this place? Really, and so for me, I built 4 multi-million-dollar companies, and had a ton of successes and a lot of failures in that process. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been a contractor for 28 years. Started from nothing and no business education, just all hard knocks, and it took me a long time to accelerate those businesses because I had to learn everything on my own. All my mistakes from production, sales, and I went into one of the hardest industries, asphalt, seal coating, and paving, from residential and all the way birth up to commercial. And Jamie went down the same path. And you can tell you it's difficult because you're dealing with so many different variables, so much problem solving. You're dealing with equipment. You're dealing with a low level of labor, which makes it very difficult for the pool you're pulling from. Tend to not have a ton of high character, and so it's very difficult to work through this process. You're dealing with weather, timelines, tight budgets. You're doing all your work within, because we're from up north. You're doing all your work within a short season. 8 months if you're lucky. Within those 8 months, you're dealing with rain and weather and all these different predicaments. And so very difficult business, but it was a real good breeding ground to help me develop into a good entrepreneur. I'm real creative. I love, developing things. And so, like I said, the trajectory that took me to build successful companies was really slow. But now I can see in the last 5 years, multiple companies have been birthed. We're working on multiple other businesses. I'm a very inclusive guy. Um, I like to share the value of effort and the development process of people who really are adding value and helping us get to the place we want. I want, like every bit of me wants them to share in what I'm getting as well as what everybody else is getting. You hear so many horror stories. Jimmy helped build a juggernaut of an organization called High Heart Industries, and the problem was, everybody helped build this crazy huge organization, and where'd all money come? Just to the two owners and the other investors. That's it. And you hear story after story after story like that. But that's not going to get the experience here. And you can connect with multiple people that I'm associated with, and they'll prove that's true about who we are as an organization, who I am as a person. That I was sharing those things, and it's been to my own detriment in sharing those things. Um, not wisely. So I've been unwise in a few opportunities I gave people, and I shared too much too early, and created my own detriment. But learn from those things.
But in that, we still believe, the people that we've trained to have been owners and stuff like that who hit those ceilings, we don't want to do that anymore. We want to invest our time and money in people who are going to stick with us and still get the benefits of being an owner, right? But do that together. I mean, the old saying is, train them well enough so that they can leave, but pay them well enough so they don't. That's the whole goal, is to create that team, camaraderie where we can all grow together, financially and, within business. So here's kind of
Well, let me finish with. I want to give you people to hear some background. So, so for me, I've led youth ministries and fellowship groups, coach wrestling for 15 years. Now kind of transitioned back into it. I had a little gap between my kids. I got a huge family, 7 children that I look after, and help develop and help them reach their fullest potential. Own multiple businesses, like I said, and I have a real passion to help people reach their fullest potential. Spiritually, financially, relationally, it doesn't matter. That's what drives me. And the fun thing is, you get to do that through a business platform. My personal vision is, blessed be a blessing. I'm a person of faith. I'm in Jesus Christ. I don't impart that into my organizations, but my organizations are heavily influenced by my faith of how we conduct business, how we use our resources to impact communities and advance God's kingdom. So that's really important. So yeah, we do pray, and people who want to engage those things. We have a beautiful group. I connected at church. We had fellowship, and it was this weekend, but we don't impart our faith on anybody. We hopefully are influenced by it. That's important to us. Um, and so those things. So we have the experiences. We've been in the roofing industry. We've built super successful roofing companies. We know how to duplicate it. We've had multiple locations. We've been in Charlotte. We've been in Orlando. We've been in Panama City. We've worked 3 hurricanes, multiple hailstorms. We know this industry back and forth. So we can navigate us to get us to a place where we really can cover the nation and have a ton of success. In doing that, you know, Julius has been along this ride with me. Was top sales guy in every organization he's been in, and give him a little bit of background, like how we got connected. Created our first roofing company down here. 7 years ago, 6 years, 7 years, 2017. Yeah, 2017. A year after the first hurricane or Irma hit Southwest Florida. So I'm gonna give a little just about what? So just a little background, like to give them some confidence that you can get them through here. Yeah. So
just by like a show of hands, for those of you who have worked with me, like who in here have I made money? Guys, help you learn, train, make money. So those of you who I've been around and just touched, even if it was a short amount of time, that my goal is to teach you how to make money. That's it. because when I was younger in this business, I started doing this when I was 18. I was off in college, found quickly that that wasn't for me other than just having a good time. Um, and started doing this one summer. And that first summer, I made more money than most of my friends were going to make in the next 5 years, And I realized really quickly that, hey, I like this business. It's fun, it's flexible, um, it's not it's not difficult. There's hard days, but it's not a difficult business to learn. Like, you know, probably learning like how to program a computer or something. It's not like that. Um, so for me, I started my own business after working for a multitude of companies. If you come to my house, you'll see a wall of shirts. I've worked for a whole bunch of companies. I've worked for $100 million companies. I've worked for $5 to $10 million companies. Some of the $5 to $10 million companies were the best companies I ever worked for. They had the best reputations. They were the best to work for. Um, but I've seen it all, and over the years, I found out really quickly that, yeah, I like to make money, right? But I love to educate people in this business. So I educate my homeowners, which makes them buy from me. That's why I have such a high closing ratio. I don't think there's really a deal I haven't got in the store. I've closed everything. And it's because of the system that I use. So, um, I just hope for you guys, like I know everybody, has confidence in following Bob, right? I'd like to build that same confidence in everyone to trust in my leadership. Um, because I only have one thing in mind for everybody here, and that's to level everyone up. Like Bob's always said, we're not here to give out, we're not here for handouts. We're here to give handouts. So,
And and when we share this like growth model, growth track, everybody, you know, everybody, it's inclusive for everybody. Wherever you can add value, wherever your gift settings are, whatever your interests are. If you guys want to be entrepreneurs, or if you guys just want to be just sales guys, that's the freedom of where you guys, get to go. But if you guys are dreaming big and saying, "Hey, I want to be a leader in this vision," you really have that opportunity. It's going to be fun and cool. So, to give you guys this design and kind of help you guys understand what we're talking about. So, Shamrock Ripping Corporate, there's a corporate core, the guys who are kind of associated with it. This, the corporation is really, really small currently. So to identify like the corporation is me, Julius, and Jimmy currently. Then we have a location, which is Southwest Florida. We have an Ohio location. We have, we do a ton of business in Indiana and Indianapolis. Um, so you have the corporate structure, you have Shamrock Groping corporate locations. So, like I said, this would be a corporate location. We have a lot of participants. You don't need those people. Now, as we work with people, someone like Thomas is our production manager here. He could, show these giftings and strengths and have a bigger vision of apostolic gifting where he can, understand growth, understand processes, systems, how to scale. So he could transition and end up being corporate and helping recruit, develop, train multiple location managers, right? Or production managers or just add different value either the corporate structure or just focus on the location and grow and rankings in that location. He might also say, "Hey, I'm from Texas. I want to go back, be close to my family, raise a family, and I'd be interested in, say, Shamrock Growth and corporate partner locations." And we have actually two people that are interested in this opportunity. We'll identify Eugene and Ryan. They're vetted, meaning they have enough business experience and enough history with us that we would say, "Hey, we would give this opportunity up." And I'll give you an example that this is real life. This happens. I had in my broking company that still, or paving company that I still had in Columbus, Ohio, grew into an extremely large paving company from nothing. I had a sales guy that was completely committed to me, serving, never was entitled, never asked me for a raise, always served, sacrificed, always was committed to growing the company, and did that for 16 years without any complaints. Like I said, no entitlement, just servanthood, serve, 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 serve. Well, me and my wife saw that, we identified that, we prayed about it, and we gifted him 25% of a multi-million dollar business. Didn't give us one transaction, and he earned it by who he was. He earned money by doing what he did. Like we paid him very well for all the years he did what he did. So he was compensated for that, but he was gifted 25% of the assets and equity of a multi-millionaire company. So now he sits at the seat and owns 25%. Same thing with opportunity for you guys. What that looks like is saying, hey, I want to grow. You guys have to be vetted. And, that took a long time. A lot of our younger generation or just in society say like, oh, I want to do that. Can I go plan a business? Heck no. We really know you. Really sold this, how much, there's, like Julius is so faithful to process and we've been through so much process together. That's why we work so well together. Me and my brother obviously went through a lot of stuff and we processed so much stuff and through amazing times, difficult times, and we've got to go through many things. And I love using this illustration of King David, this slave Goliath, and everybody looks at that monument opportunity that he killed, he earned his kingship. But before that, he had to serve sheep. And when his brothers were off the battle, he wanted to go, but he couldn't. He had to take care of tend to the sheep. He had to protect the sheep. He had to kill a bear to protect sheep. Then he had to kill a lion. But in that process of growth, then he had to use those same skills that were developed on that platform to slay Goliath. Then that earned him the right at the throne. But it took that process. Same with all you guys. You guys all are given the right. I don't favor, you know, I'll bless my kids and invest a lot of time and energy, but they won't get an opportunity unless they kill the bear, kill the lion, and so on and so on. One kid that I've looked after since the ninth grade lived with us. Mom asked him to stay with us to help develop him. Now he's like one of my own children. He is one of my own children. I treat him as such. And him and my other son started, who was my biological son, they started my paving company at the same time. They both were earning $16 an hour each, being paid lower than anybody in the organization as laborers. Well, they both invest their time and energy. The one son accelerated and like operating large equipment, and now he's the second highest paid, and he's our top operator. In 4 years, he's been extremely successful financially. Makes more money than anyone in his family. He's done very well, and it's been a real blessing to our organization. My biological son has been at a slower pace, but he really grew a ton this year. But there was no favoritism. It's like, hey, you get this offer, you get to be a founder. Nope, you earn it, but the process of earning, it's fun because you can say, hey, you work harder, that gets you somewhere in this organization. You know what I mean? So these guys that kill lions, they've killed the bears, they've invested, and then there's enough history and relationship to say, hey, our values align enough where we invest time, energy, and everything we built over all these years in this organization. So, we have St. Louis and Tampa that are going to be birthed through this process. They could say, hey, you know what, this isn't a good fit for me, short term, long term, you don't know. And then during that process, there's a vetting is earning like if you get a retirement, they say, hey, you have to work here 5 years to earn that retirement. Right. Same thing like when I made him a partner, I said, I don't know if I don't know what it will be like when you have authority. People can completely change, or have access to this. So I gave him a 3-year vetting window and said, though we worked together 6 years, let me give you this authority. So you won't earn, you'll share in these profits, but you won't earn equity and have, all these assets. It'll take 3 years. Then you can just walk away and sell the company or your shares back to me in 3 years. But before that, he couldn't do that. He could just, hey, we have the year that you share these profits, right? Same thing. Every step of this process, you'll earn your way and you'll have to, go through a process. So you have your location partners. Then, Julius, I've been with multiple people, and, even they're really impressed. You guys will get this towards the end of this process because we're refining it. We built a system that's been really developed for 7 years. It's really a handbook that really lays out how we're going to do everything, from every location. how we handle a dollar, how you handle sales start to finish, how we're automating all that. We're doing all that, we're refining that. We can spend, gazillions of dollars on the development of that process, countless hours, time, consultants, all that stuff. And it started from one company, but it's been the same vision to accomplish. So, we had some people look at that, and we had people pursuing us. They said, "Wow, that is a very duplicatable system. Amazing brand awareness. We love your guys' vision. We love what you guys are trying to do." They really wanted to buy into the company and help uh, uh, accelerate that. And say this can be very franchise. This is becoming very popular in the service industry currently. And was going to put us on a lot of platforms to do that. We actually initiated was going down that direction and we put a halt to it. One very reason we said, "Hey," and this guy was coming to also work within our branch, and we had multiple meetings, went through all these processes, and then some stuff started surfacing that didn't fit within our culture. And you know how hard it is when a train is going along the tracks and you derail, it's a mess. Those are hard meetings to say, "Hey, you guys do not align with who you are." Um, this isn't about a get rich quick scheme and whatnot. This is about growing something that's important to us and that people can benefit from. So, but we still have the important parts of that. That's our process, the systems in our handbook, and the relationships with people that can accelerate those things when we're ready.
So the franchise model is going to be outside of the partnership locations where, the franchise model is going to be, Joe Schmo and his wife want to, start a roofing company. They like the brand, they like the idea of it, all that stuff. They could basically find to that franchise location, but what it'll also allow us to do is if there's ever a storm that happens at that location, is we would bring our A team in, we maximize that storm, we leave. It's a benefit for them because when we're gone, they're still going to maintain their brand if they're going to get all the referral business. So there's a huge benefit there. Um,
And then you transition in from there to Shamrock, Roofing ESOP. So the goal is to develop this, huge company and to always have impact within the organization. But at the same time, we're building these businesses for intentionality, to take equity and to advance other things, other businesses, other opportunities, transform lives. You name it, we want to do it. So in those processes, you know, met with bankers, talking to multiple different companies, and I know multiple people. I'm fortunate enough to be in the sample group, which really is a fellowship and Bible study of uber successful people, multi-billionaires, huge construction companies, huge paving companies, huge ministries, and I get to collectively meet with them. And a lot of these guys have executed as one. A company called Facility, it's a big construction company in Ohio. But they just did ESOP, and this is when I started learning about this. Like I was like, man, this really aligns up with who I am. And what they did is, they for 3 generations they built a huge construction company, sold for 600 million to the employees and still lead and run the organization. But what they did is they were able to extract that 600 million because they had financial sustainability, they had good staffing consistently for a good period of time. Then shares were dispersed according to executives, employees. However, then same thing. Those employees are vetted. They have to work 3 years and maintain the position to gain that real equity in that organization. Then they own, say, 3 shares of a $600 million company, then they can sell out or have some serious value of whatever that organization is doing. The organization then formulates a board. CFOs can sit on those boards and help direct and continue to lead the company if they have interest or use that equity to invest into the company and outside of the company as well. So, but those things will 100% happen. So, people will say, "Hey, when we get to this milestone and we're doing hundreds of millions of dollars, then, I'm actually currently meeting with another business owner and our bankers start really initiating and understanding this process. So when we get to the milestones, we'll be prepared to, you know, um, like implement those that ESOP.
I can see the table, the floors in here, because you're all lined out for this. that we're going to be putting in these garages. Our other business that we've been building now so slowly, for almost a year, 9, 10 months, is called auto brokers or auto butlers. Auto butlers, it's a brokering business that does concierge services. So, sooner than later here, there's going to be lifts and, exotic cars in here that we're going to rent. And, it's a really cool business model we've been working on for years. The partners that we're doing business with that found Bob and brought us in, they do 150 million a year, and they're looking to times that by 10, and so huge opportunities all over the place. But does everybody understand the structure?
Any questions about that structure to give more insight or how that flows? So I'll give you a little more insight. So okay, say Ryan takes his family and he plans a location in Tampa in 6 months, becomes super successful. He'd become owner within, he'd be getting profit sharing at a 25% rate of everything he adds value, because he's taking the responsibility with our support to grow that aspect of this within a 5-year period of time. That will be real equity within owning all the assets that is associated with that location. He also might say, hey, he's super talented. He understands marketing. He really has a good niche. I really think he can add a lot of value into the technology aspect and say, hey, I'm taking, I want to join the corporate team and help formulate the Amazon roofing technology, right? Push a button, your roof's built in no time, right? And you have all these bells and whistles and cool things. He might also participate within those two facets within the organization. Then you might have Jack say, I just want stuff with the company. I love sales. I don't want any responsibility. Any other side hustles, I'll be happy to invest, but that's what I want to do. You would just say it as a location salesman. Whatever location that you wanted to go to maximize the opportunity, you can go there. And you don't have to grow anywhere. But then in 5 years, the company's worth 120 million and we sell it for 80 to Excel. And he ends up getting 2 shares of the whole organization that's worth that money at that period of time. And he have to vet his time out in order to earn the physical equity behind that. Does that make sense? So it's live real scenarios of what that would look like. And
invite only.
Yeah. And so that's the goal. Rapid growth is desired, but slow process is what we care about. We think big, we're going to act small all the time. Think big, act small, and that could really accelerate our growth. But we're going to get there 100%. Just like I do, like this guy, this cool name he has, Rich Boss. I've been privileged enough to sit under him. Ryan's been some of his meeting. He's the most loving, genuine person you'll ever meet in your life. And I've had so many one-on-ones with him and connecting with him. And, he's like, I was relentless. Because when we set out, we were meeting for years, with 12 people. There's no wavering. We're going to get there. But only 3 of them got there. I'm telling you here, like, one of our biggest strengths, we have grit. We're going to get it. We're going to build a national looking company. And those who are willing to go, along with us and has that same grit, you're going to come with us. And we're all going to make a ton of money and have opportunities. Like, the reason why Julius mentions Auto Butler, because we're very inclusive in the things we're doing. So, we have, aspirations of the gaming group, real estate development. So, we have ideas of using our resources with, there's no other contractor in Florida that's other than Brian that's buying metal from Sheffield directly. Yeah. It all goes through distributors. But because of our networks and connections and our volume, we're buying this metal directly. Now, with that same metal, we can construct with our knowledge and ability, site development, we can construct like storage units and metal buildings like nothing for I wouldn't say pennies to the dollar, but I'd say, a third to half of the cost. And we want to build this little equity firm while all of us are making, I didn't get to do that in my last organization, but I was driven to do that. And so now, we're going to be able to execute those things. So people have to, say each of you have one, Jack Reed's got money right now from all the money that he sold that Julius helped him make, the platform will give. He's like, I got 70,000, let's invest in something. Let's go buy a house. Maybe Richard has 100 grand, this has 20 grand, Michael has 30 grand, I have, 250 grand. We create a little equity firm, and in one project, say we want to build, 300 units. And then we don't really have to do a whole lot other than organize a hire project manager, execute what we know already how to execute, but use our resources to, build long lasting income for all our families and have some value for everything, and that's going to be a fun process. Why you mentioned the auto butler, because that's happening right now. So not only us within that, the auto butler, it's a 3 phase business, and it's a huge scale business. Like it's $1 billion business that we believe that we can execute. It's going to take a long time, but this is phase one, and it's a you know yeah, I'll tell you all the phases at some other point. But this, that one little phase is these guys that connected us and wanted to do business with us. They are wholesale buyers, and they have crazy access to buy vehicles and buy so many different dealerships now, and they also have an exotic auto rental business, and they have like 40 or 70. They own 40 and rent 70 to 100. Yeah, and so, which is a very lucrative business. And I was asking them, like, they're like big investors, but all their money is going into these exotic car rentals because the return on them is so high. They're in real estate, they're in stock, they're in everything else that they're dealing with. And they know the markets to put them in. And so we developed a business called Auto Butlers Concierge Service, but then it creates a platform where the corporation will buy vehicles, but they also have dozens of investors. Like a guy in Orlando said, he's got $2 million that he wants to buy vehicles for. He'll buy those $2 million vehicle. They'll be managed by Auto Loaner and all of the systems and software and process that are already established. Then, like, give an example, a Urus. So if you guys had the resources to buy a Urus right now, you could buy the Urus, stick it in our Auto Butler, right? And we would manage that vehicle for you. But the return on a Urus is it's a $220,000 vehicle. These are real numbers that they deal with. In 17 months, they made $225,000. They bought that Urus for $185,000. For $225,000, they made by renting that vehicle $225,000. Had an accident, made $19,000 off the insurance claim because the bumper wasn't that much to fix. They fixed it, so they paid that vehicle off, or they could continue to. They could sold that vehicle and they would have profited $225,000 in 17 months off of one vehicle. That's crazy, but those are real numbers. These are spreadsheets we reviewed. They do it all the time, So those are opportunities, guys. Like one of my little Corey's, he wants to buy like a little Audi or we're putting vehicles into it as well, and you'll see them here. They'll be piled up, and this will be a pilot for this location. The other location is Miami, and we're going to be all over the place as well. But those are opportunities. Whatever opportunity that we're trying to further grow or opportunities you have, then that's this roundtable is fun. It's like, hey man, let's form each other's dreams, each other's opportunities, and accelerate. Because a principle that I believe very much in is, when you have the right partnerships, it's a multiplication. It's not. It says, one can slay 1,000, or two can slay 10,000. You're like, man, that's a lot of multiplication. So when you're with the right people and you're making the right decisions, we can accelerate things and multiply your future earnings and be responsible.
Mm-hmm. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and just break off for a second. If everyone wants to take like 10 minutes, we're running a little behind schedule. So take like 10 minutes, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, whatever we gotta do, and then we're gonna jump into the next thing. Oh. You want to take that? Oh, man. Yeah. I know. I was feeling. It's okay. I mean, it's a few minutes. That's right. That's it. Start. I know. That's good. Family's doing good.